From the NewsChannel 5 network, this is Sportsline.
Good evening, Nashville. It is time for Sportsline right here on NewsChannel 5 Plus. I'm your host, John Burton, with you for the next hour. It is the Wednesday extravaganza. Great to have you with us as we get you ready for another big weekend of football. Of course, the league championships going on in baseball. The NLCS is over. The Washington Nationals in a sweep defeat the St. Louis Cardinals 4 straight, so they are headed to the World Series for the first time in franchise history. And this goes back to when they were the Montreal Expos. Who here is old enough to remember the Montreal Expos? I am. They became the Washington Nationals, and now they're going to the World Series. They'll face either the Yankees or the Houston Astros. Houston up in that series now 2-1 after yesterday's 4-1 win at Yankee Stadium. A dominant performance by Garrett Cole pitching for the Stros. Tonight was supposed to be Game 4, but it's been rained out due to bad weather in the New York metropolitan area. So they will make it up tomorrow night and go from there as the Yankees look to even up the series at 2-2. Houston again with a 2-1 lead. College football, of course. Well, what can you say about Tennessee and Vanderbilt, right? The Commodores will play host to Missouri, number 24 Missouri. They are big underdogs in that game, despite the fact that they are home. Of course, Vanderbilt coming off that, I'll just go ahead and say it, an embarrassing loss at home to UNLV on Saturday. And, of course, Tennessee on the road at number 1 Alabama. I think we all know how that game's going to go. Brian Maurer is going to be a game-time decision. Of course, he got hurt last week in the win over Mississippi State. Jarrett Garantano had to come in. So Maurer, a game-time decision against Alabama Saturday night in Tuscaloosa. But again, I think we all know how that's going to turn out, so it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is. So there you are. You're up to date there. And, of course, growing speculation at Tennessee State about the future of their head coach, Rod Reed. Spoke to Coach Reed today. They will host Austin Peay 2-0 in the OVC, having a great season, are the Governors. They come to Nissan Stadium on Saturday to play Tennessee State, who's lost 6 in a row. They haven't won since opening day when they beat Mississippi Valley State in the John Merritt Classic. So Rod Reed needs to put some wins together, and he knows it. I spoke to him today. So they will try to get back on track there. So, of course, the big story of the day involves the Tennessee Titans, who will take on the LA Chargers at Nissan Stadium Sunday. Note the start time, late afternoon start, 3:05 kickoff at Nissan Stadium. And they'll have a new quarterback under center. Marcus Mariota out, Ryan Tannehill in. I'm sure if you've caught the show the last couple of days, you've been hearing what Steve Lehman has to say about it. I will offer my 2 cents. Marcus Mariota, obviously in his 5th year, does not have a contract for next year. And it appears his days as in Tennessee as the guy, the quarterback, are over. He, of course, got benched in the 3rd quarter of last week's loss at Denver, 16-0. And, when you think about Marcus Mariota, the one word that comes up for me is inconsistent. Marcus Mariota has a world of talent. He's got a great arm, great mobility. I think he's a good leader in his own way. But for whatever reason, whether it's multiple head coaches, multiple offensive coordinators, having to learn a new offense, injuries, it just hasn't worked out for him here. And, barring, I won't say a miracle, but barring something very significant happening to Ryan Tannehill, either he plays so poorly that they have to go back to Marcus Mariota, or he gets injured, we may not see Marcus Mariota under center in a Titans uniform again. And to me, that's disappointing. Marcus Mariota, of course, the number 2 overall pick in the 2015 draft. Such high hopes for him to finally be the guy and replace Steve McNair as the next franchise quarterback of the Tennessee Titans. But unfortunately, it has not worked out. Like I said, injuries, dealing with new head coaches, new offensive coordinators. And, you look at Ryan Tannehill now. This guy's had 88 starts in his career with the Miami Dolphins. He was once considered the Dolphins franchise quarterback. Is he the answer long term? Probably not. Could he be a stopgap guy? No. If the Titans were to go out and draft a quarterback next year, Could you sign him for a couple of years under market value and have him kind of set the table for the next young quarterback you bring in? Sure, but where does that leave you this season? You know, the Titans are 2-4. They've got, I would say, a winnable game coming up at home against the LA Chargers. That would get them to 3-4 and pretty much right back in the mix. They don't have a very good divisional record or a very good conference record, but still 10 games to go. So this franchise is going to have to decide where they're going to go going forward vis-a-vis what they're going to do at the quarterback situation. Because remember, Ryan Tannehill does not have a contract for next year either. So the future of the Titans franchise, with this move being made both on Sunday and today, with Ryan Tannehill officially being named the starting quarterback of the Tennessee Titans and Marcus Mariota getting benched, this is a significant time period right now for the Tennessee Titans franchise. And where they go from here, John Robinson is going to have to make some hard decisions, and he's going to have to nail the decisions he makes in terms of what the marching orders are going to be for the rest of this year with 10 games to go, and what they do with the future, either with Ryan Tannehill or a young quarterback. We want to know what you think. Our lines are wide open. Let's get started tonight with Michael on line 1. Michael, you're on Sportsline. Welcome.
Yeah, I want to talk about some of the play calling, some of the calls that are going on, the flags and such. They put in the new rule for the pass interference. But I watched the Detroit-Green Bay game the other night.
Horrible officiating, egregiously bad calls. 2 bad calls on the defensive lineman there for hands to the face when he did no such thing. There was a bad interference call that wasn't called on the field, and Matt Patricia, the head coach of the Detroit Lions, should have challenged that call. Detroit outplayed Green Bay in that game, and they got robbed by the officials. The NFL officiating right now is at an all-time low. I tweeted about it Monday night. It is absolutely atrocious what these referees have done.
He could have challenged that play, but there's no guarantee, even after looking at it, that they're going to overturn it. They haven't overturned it this year.
I think it would have been overturned. There was clearly contact there on the receiver.
You hope so. I've seen several this year that were clearly.
That one would have been. I'm confident in saying, Michael, that one would have been overturned had Matt Patricia thrown the flag.
I'm a Steelers fan, by the way. I'm not even a Detroit or a Green Bay fan, but at the same time, the calls are killing all the teams in the NFL.
It's terrible.
They're hurting. This could cost Green Bay a chance. Detroit a chance at the playoffs. It's more than just. And I've heard people say, "Oh, 1 or 2 bad calls don't cost you the game." Baloney. It cost them the game. There's no way they could overcome it.
Michael,
minutes of the game.
I'll offer this, and thanks for the call. You're absolutely right. I'll offer this. Look, Detroit had their chances in that game, but they settled for too many field goals when they should have converted drives in for touchdowns. But some of those calls that went against the Detroit Lions the other night were absolutely egregious and atrocious. And, shame on Matt Patricia for not challenging that one interference call, because I believe he would have won. We got Mike on line 2. What's up, Mike? Mike, Are you there?
I'm here.
Welcome. You're on the air. What's going on?
Yes. Here we are, all witnesses to a potential change in quarterback in the upcoming game. But what's the big surprise? How many times have we seen Mariota literally be responsible for the losses that the Titans have suffered in the past? How many times have we witnessed poor generalship by this quarterback? How many times have we seen this guy throw the ball away, throw it in the ground, throw it wide, and come off like
Mike, why don't you grab a sip of water? Mike, grab a sip of water for a second, and let me talk for a second, and then I'll have you jump back in. And I need you to turn your TV down, please. All right. Mike's not there, and it's. Mike's gone. All right. Well, Mike, hopefully you're still listening, and I hope take care of that cough, buddy. It's temperature's dropping. It's cold and flu season here in Middle Tennessee. Let's be fair when we talk about Marcus Mariota, okay? Listen, this is the NFL. Quarterbacks get too much credit when the team does well and too much blame when the team doesn't do well. Is he a part of the issues with the Tennessee Titans offense? You better believe it, big time. And yeah, he's missed on some throws. He's had receivers open. He's not seen the field well. He's made some errant throws. But let's also consider the fact that this offensive line has been absolutely atrocious, and there's no excuse for it with all the high-priced talent that they brought in. You know, you got 2 potential bookend tackles that you drafted in the first round in each respective year. You brought in Roger Saffold, who's a high-priced free agent. Ben Jones is your center, a guy you brought in for big money a few years ago and just re-upped with this summer. And Nate Davis, he's a right guard. We'll see where he's at going forward. He's a rookie. You know, inconsistency in the running game, play calling questionable. So you can't put it all on Marcus Mariota, but yes, he absorbs a big chunk of it. And for him to be as inconsistent as he's been in year 5 in a contract year, yeah, that does not speak well of Marcus Mariota, but he certainly is not 100% totally to blame in this, in my opinion. Who do we have, Pray? We got Tony on line. Oh, okay. We got Nick on line 1. Hey, Nick, how are you?
Hey.
What's going on?
All right. I just want to throw this out there as a Miami Dolphins fan.
Yep.
If you want to see the better execution out of Ryan Tannehill, one, you need to put him on the move. He's very good when he's moving. He can be a heck of a passer. Not to mention, he's very good at running the ball when he's under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
On the downside, the part that everybody's going to need heart medication for, he takes so much time in the pocket, and you've got a very weak line to begin with.
Yep.
That's where your games will be decided between your wins and your losses. And, of course, you need a kicker that can kick field goals. It's all been Henry or nothing so far. If they want good execution out of Ryan Tannehill, move the pocket and get him to get rid of the ball quickly. Otherwise, you're in for a miserable season. But he's a pretty reliable guy.
Well, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. There is a Miami Dolphins fan checking in. Of course, Ryan Tannehill, 88 career starts with the Miami Dolphins. Let's get a couple more calls in. Who do we have, Pray? Let's go to Tony on line 2. What's up, Tony? Tony, you there?
Yes, I'm here. I was just wondering if Coach Vrabel, has he actually had anything to do with Marcus not running the football like he did his first couple of years? Because it seems to me like he has shut down Mariota from doing the runs. I know he does occasionally, but not like he did the first couple of years. And I was just wondering if that would be part of the problem too. And if it is, that should be addressed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I mean, listen, under Mike Mularkey and Kevin Wisenhunt for that matter, Mariota's first few years in the league, there seemed to be more designed runs. He was kind of Lamar Jackson before Lamar Jackson was Lamar Jackson. Designed quarterback runs like you see with Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson and some of the other quarterbacks. And he was pretty effective at that. But when the injuries started piling up, the proverbial adage was, let's keep him in the pocket. Let's try to protect him, which they haven't done. Maybe less running, and he won't get hurt as often. So that's where we are there. All right, we're going to take a break. If you're on hold, stay there. But when we come back, we're going to talk to Eric Bacharach, Titans beat reporter for the Tennessee, and get his thoughts on the quarterback change. Later this hour, you will hear from head coach Mike Vrabel, Marcus Mariota, and Ryan Tannehill as the Titans make the switch at QB. Stay with us. We're back after this.